This is my last video as a targeted individual because my identity doesn't revolve around a terminology that identifies a person being targeted with directed energy weapons and neurotech. I've evolved into a mature grown woman and I know who I am. I am targeted. It sucks. But that's not who I am. I've come to the conclusion that humans are able to endure the most awful, torturous experiences, and not that we should have to, but in doing so, we are able to test our humanness, and more importantly, our soul's ability to transcend the cruelty of the world and not to come out of it unscathed, but to harness from a source beyond ourselves that puts any fears to rest, that holds a light up for others to follow out of love, out of faith, and resurgence of a better world. I am targeted, but I am not a targeted individual. I may continue to share my knowledge and experiences on related topics. I may strive to continue my education in order to find ways to combat the unlawful use of neurotech and energy weapons. I plan on acknowledging others and their experiences. I want to explore foundations for cognitive rights to be thoroughly established. I will make an impact, no matter how minuscule, in the scope of this entire dilemma. And if you are targeted, please listen closely. We, the targeted, the ones who are inherently informed by the unlawful use of this tech, have a responsibility to humanity to speak up, not in an unruly way, in a calm way, in a serious way, an informed way. We may be the only ones to save us, thus saving everyone else who may be targeted in the future. Not to just improve the quality of their lives, but to make sure nurture has just as much of a chance as nature. Mankind is in danger, not just in being wiped out, but in destroying what it means to be free. I wrote this tonight because I am honestly feeling unmotivated by the current way that targeted individuals and everyone in this whole thing are approaching it, and I understand that it's a difficult thing and we all have our lives. It's not easy, certainly, and many of us have families and children and we have to make do, but I feel like in a sense we've kind of boxed ourselves in to not really making any real changes, and maybe that's because we need some of us at least need a rebranding, and I'm gonna start with that rebranding. And I just want you to know that even if you do choose to identify as a targeted individual, I understand. I completely understand, and I'm still going to use it to pull in more of an audience and help pull in more others who are targeted, because it already is established. But you are not a targeted individual. Even if you identify it as it, that's not who you are. You are so much more. And just always remember that, because this whole thing it's a crazy psyop, right? I don't know if it's all organized together, if there are many who are behind it that all all are organized to commit this crime against humanity. Maybe it's not as organized as we think, and there's just people out there with the that have this technology and they are able to use it, and different groups and individuals, and that may be the case, but they all use the current they use all this slogan, these terminologies against us. They weaponize them all against us, in a sense, and it almost can bring us down. So I find that it's better to take time to step away from those established words and terminologies and look at what we can be doing outside that. Like, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses? What can we do to make an impact in this situation? And are we just feeding into the fear even more, or are we actually making an impact, making a difference in this? And I want everyone watching this who is targeted to think about this very thoroughly and to ask yourself, what am I really doing to stop this, to expose this, to, fuck this whole thing up? Because ultimately we should all be wanting that. We should all be wanting to get this from ever happening to anyone. It's not just about ourselves, it's about everyone after us too. So I am no hero, I am no savior. I am a human being who is being oppressed, and I know that if I don't do something, though, no one else might. So those of you who know that this is happening, even if you're not targeted, if you know that this is happening, try your best to see if there's something more you can be doing, because this is the most frightening form of surveillance and torture, the most inhumane thing I've ever seen possible, that you can't easily get out of. I actually don't even know how to get out of it. I mean, I don't think anyone does. We just keep living our lives, and I've chosen to ignore it the best I can. And I hope that in any case, those who are targeting me one day have compassion to leave me alone and let me be. But I am not in any way able to just flip a switch and shut this off. I wish I could. And that's very scary, that I can't just live my life without this unconsented surveillance, this unlawful surveillance, form of surveillance and torture that it has been. There is a spiritual side to it, sure, and I know that many explore that, and I appreciate that. I think though, in my lifetime, I found that everything is spiritual in a sense. And I think many do go on the spiritual path with this because they don't know any other option to cope with it. And that's beautiful. But we need tangible action, and we need to also approach this from a logical standpoint, a grounded standpoint of being able to uh, allow the greater public to understand what's happening, and so that something can be done to fight this, to stop this, to get a handle on this. I I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I know I did my best. Um, and I want to end this with sharing a few things that I found helpful through this whole thing. I've chosen that the best course of action is to not communicate with this voice to skull, to completely ignore it, to completely try to avoid and pretend it's not there. Because it is not supposed to be there. Whoever is doing this to us, it's highly illegal, it's highly inhumane, and so disrespectful that they don't deserve my attention. And so, don't talk back. Don't talk with. Don't give them your energy. Don't even acknowledge them if you can help it. By its nature, I know that there's not much solid science. There's patents, but not solid science about the remote neural monitoring, which is the surveillance side of it, which I know is real through my experience and many others. It's much more difficult to prove, I feel like, but than the directed energy weapons, because that's already established as a real thing with the microwave auditory effect and the long range directional weapons, the acoustic heterodyning. Those are much easier technologies to show as evidence that this is happening. The remote neural monitoring is a little more advanced, and the greater public isn't usually aware that military is much further ahead than they like to say. So, and private companies aren't going to tell everything. So what was I saying is, with that side of it, with them knowing everything that I'm doing, the extreme surveillance, it's something that I've learned to just fully accept myself, who I am, and I already have gone through that in my lifetime. I'm a 30-year-old woman, almost 31 now, and I've been through a lot in my lifetime, and I've built up my confidence over the years, and I know who I am, of course, but this has really brought me to a point where I have become fully comfortable with my body, with my mind, with my strengths and weaknesses. You have no choice. You have to do it fast, or they use your insecurities against you, and then that's how they can manipulate you. So it's better just to be completely comfortable with who you are and accept yourself. And that's an amazing thing. That's a positive thing that you can get out of this. And that's something you can be grateful for. And that's my next point. Find things that you can be grateful for every single day, because this fucking sucks. This whole thing is, and it's not just shitty because it's happening to you. It's shitty because you realize that if you tell your family or the people immediately around you, they're gonna think that you're crazy. Or they're not gonna understand what's happening to you. At this current point in time, I think most of us can agree that if we go to a friend or a family member and we tell them, hey, there are voices being projected into my skull, and they have this technology where they're monitoring, it's sending my thoughts signals back to them, and they're interpreting with AI everything that I'm thinking and doing. If you say that to a friend or a family member, it's not going to be good. So it's lonely in that sense, because you feel like you're always hiding something. You have this big secret. So that's why forming an online platform, if you can, anonymously, or if you want to be brave and show your face, is important. And it provides you also an alibi, in a sense, if something happens. If something happens. And that's my next point. People are targeted at their weakest moments. Those who are targeted at their weakest moments, that's when it may be the heaviest. If those who are doing this to them want to overwhelm their victim so that they may act in ways they don't normally act, so that they may behave in a way that they wouldn't normally. And I'm a type of person where I never want to hurt anyone. I never want to hurt myself. But I will say, I've never been so angry in my life than I have with this experience. So please, have compassion for yourself. Have compassion. Do everything you can to calm yourself down, whether it's exercise, whether it's laughing at funny movies, spending time with pets, punching a pillow. I've done it. Do what you have to do, as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not hurting yourself in any serious way, to get back to a balanced state. This might be difficult, but you can do it. It's possible. And prioritize your sleep. Get as much sleep as you can with this. It's okay to sleep in a little bit. You might need it. But keep moving too. Keep moving. Keep focused on your goals. Keep your home clean. Keep a clean environment. Keep organized. Spend time with family and friends. You might not be able to tell them what's happening. Most likely you won't. But enjoy the moment with them. Enjoy what it means to be alive and to be as free as possible. And appreciate that you can still move your own body how you want. Hopefully. I don't know for everyone's case, but you can smile, you can laugh, you can still use your own mind. Use your mind. That's something that I've thought for myself for a long time. My occupation is a more physical job, I will say. There is thinking involved, but not quite like other occupations, other careers. And I've always felt a little like I'm not using my brain enough. I could do more. I could do more with my cognitive abilities. And now I see that this whole experience, it has opened up that to me I wasn't using my mind enough. Actually, I did love to write. I love to. I even finished a manuscript. So it's not like I didn't use my mind, but I know that there's so much more there. There's so much more in there I can put to use that I wasn't. And to avoid the constant irritation of the voice to skull, the microwave auditory effect, acoustic heterodyning, if I put my focus to something else, if I put my mind to something else, if I use my brain, my thoughts, it's better. Reading, writing, everything, it's better. It's better than letting it be a bunch of empty space for someone else to fill. So use your mind. If you can't sleep, read. Write. Study. I know that some of you have I've heard some that have struggled with those things through this, but for me, I've found that it helps. I don't know why, but that helps me. I'm better off using my mind with this. I'm better off. I will never be the same. But I realize that the world has always been this way. Being targeted just woke me up to it. It woke me up to how fucked up how fucked up our system actually is, and how certain humans have evolved or not evolved in various ways. One thing that is very obvious now is just because someone is intelligent in one way doesn't mean that they are ethical. Intelligence does not equate to forming human rights and ethics always. I wanted to think that an intelligent person is ethical, but that's not always the case. There's different types of intelligence, I guess. And we're not all well balanced. And sometimes the most intelligent people are the most evil fucking people. And the most sick people. And sometimes there's just a lot of fucking stupid people doing their dirty work, following along. So yeah, take care of yourself, okay? I don't know when my next video will be. It may be tomorrow, it may be a month from now, months from now, I don't know. But I hope that if you're watching this, you've gotten something out of this, even if you're not a targeted individual. Remember, you know who you are. Have a good night.